Hey drummers of the world, it's Jim from Dixon Drums, and I'm here at the distribution home of Dixon Drums in the United States. And today we're going to visit with drummer Steve Bunck, and we're going to talk about his tribute band gig and a little bit about his Dixon Cornerstone drums. Now, if you don't know Steve, you don't know Mr. Blue Sky, or you don't know Cornerstone, that's okay. Because if you follow me, I'm going to introduce you to all three. Drummers of the world, Steve Bunck, Drummers of the World.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, it's great to be here.
We were just watching some of the footage of your gig. Sounded great, looked great.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about the gig. In fact,
Sure.
I kind of want to make that this theme of this segment is tribute bands.
Yeah, it's a kind of a phenomenon here in this region. There's so many of them, and because a lot of the bands that are being the subject of these tribute bands no longer tour or make records anymore, and there seems to be a void that needs to be filled. People love those bands, and they can't go see the real thing, so they go see a tribute band.
And the draw is always great.
The draw is great, and it's a fun experience for all of us.
But to me, this seems like a challenge. Mr. Blue Sky,
Yeah.
tribute band, ELO, Electric Light Orchestra.
Right.
If you're not familiar with them, check out YouTube. As a drummer in a tribute band, what kind of mindset? How do you prepare, to duplicate those great songs?
For me, it was not only learning the songs and the arrangements, but getting into what Bev Evan, the original drummer, actually did on those songs, and getting into a deeper understanding of his style and his sound. You know, if you're going to replicate something, you really have to do your homework. Try to replicate the sound, which we're all trying to do in our band. And for me, that led to me tuning the drums slightly different and talking to Greg about what Jeff Lynne loves in a drum sound, which was kind of surprising. For the snare drum, at least, no rim shots, kind of low tuning, muffled, no overtones. So it took me into new territories of learning just to hit dead center in the snare drum with no rim shot and getting a real fat sound without any high overtones. And I kind of hear that in that production. Also, he's sort of an idiosyncratic player where he doesn't do necessarily the same fill in a song, in a chorus, verse, nothing like that. He'll do different things.
Yep.
So it was kind of interesting to study his style and kind of bring that into my own mindset when I play that music.
So you had to slow down your albums, your
Yeah,
RPMs.
sure.
Well, speaking of sounds, drum sounds, we've got the kit
Yeah.
from the stage there, and this is your Dixon Cornerstone kit, which the color, Quetzal Blue,
Yeah.
fits the whole vibe.
Fits the
Mr.
whole
Blue
vibe.
Sky.
Looks great on stage. Looks like sky blue when the lights hit it. It's amazing.
That's right.
It just works out.
Cornerstone for Dixon is just that. It's the cornerstone of the lineup.
Yeah.
So you can buy something better, or you can buy up and you can buy down.
But these are right there with anything that's on the market as far as drums that are high-class drums. I can literally do any gig with this kit.
Cool.
And it's very tunable. Like I was saying, I had to learn to tune them down a little bit for the fat sound that they were getting with the ELO, but I've played them tuned up with ambassadors for a fusion situation, and they do that too. You know, certain drums only have a narrow tuning range. I can do about anything with these.
But speaking of drums,
Yeah.
I like to include a segment where we get a little down and dirty on the details of the kit, in this case Cornerstone.
Right.
So I'm going to ask if I can borrow your
Absolutely.
tom-tom,
Yeah.
take it home and put it on the workbench, and we'll take a look, and then hopefully I'll get it all put together the right way in time for the next gig. What do you think?
I think you could do it.
Cool.
I trust you on this one.
All right. So here we are back at the workbench where Steve kindly lent us his 9x12 Cornerstone tom to take a closer look. Now, Cornerstone, we'll go into the details of the series in a future video, but it was basically by name intended to anchor the middle of the Dixon lineup. So you can go up to Artisan, where you have all those cool maple finish, made-to-order choices, or you can go below where Little Rumor lives, which is our compact drum system. This kit gets it done for anybody for any reason. In fact, it's one of those drum sets that become one of your favorites, and chances are it'll settle into, a specific purpose. And In Steve's case, he loves it for the live gigs, especially like in the case of that amphitheater. You know, you saw the live footage of Mr. Blue Sky. But Cornerstone can be identified a few different ways. First of all, it's lug. It's sort of a classic look. It's small, so minimal metal contact with the shell. Its finishes, most of them are satin finishes. This is called Quetzal Blue, which is probably our best seller. And Quetzal is a bird. In fact, the inspiration was a picture of a Quetzal sitting on a branch. And if you look really close at the Quetzal Blue bass drum, the highlight color of the hoop is the color of the branch that the Quetzal was sitting on. So also the suspension mount. Now, Steve, I can tell this drum's a little older because at that time we were using a Gibraltar 2-point suspension with the rubber bumper. We've since created our own system called TMS, which is a 4-point system which cradles the drum a little gentler. So, I mean, Steve or anybody else had the option to upgrade, but he decided it ain't broke, don't fix it. So here we are with the original suspension. But the main feature about Cornerstone is its shell. And that's what gives it its voice and its original sound. And so the only way to do that is to take the drum apart and take a deeper look. So let's go there. So now that Steve's drum is apart and everything looks in great shape, let's talk a little bit about the features. So the hoops, which are triple flanged, are 2.5 millimeter, commonly known as power hoops. So they're rigid, they tune up easy, hold the tuning, great rim shots, good all-around hoop. Now the heads, a new Cornerstone drum, currently comes with Evans Clear G2 batter and G1 Clear resonance side. Now at some point it looks like Steve changed to EC2, which is still 2-ply but has some interior muffling going on. Looks like he stayed with the G1 Clear resonance side, and these look like the originals. So that's kind of a tip, is that you don't always have to change those resonant heads. Tension rods, we already talked about his 2-point suspension. The lugs, once you take a drum apart, you really understand the value and the quality of the metal parts and the chrome plating that speaks volumes for the brand. In this case, the Dixon parts have some weight to it. So, they're designed to last a long time and to put up with what drummers of all styles and levels can dish out. You'll notice that the lugs have a nylon bushing on the inside to keep the tension rods from backing out, and then a rubber grommet to protect the finish. Now, when it comes down to it, the main contributor to the sound of a drum is the shell. So the Cornerstone shell is a hybrid mix of 3 different types of wood, which you can kind of see the different colors there on the flat edge of this sample. Now we start with North American maple for its structure, its finishing possibilities, and its inherent warmth. You'll usually find North American maple in any professional drum shell. But the exciting part is that inner core of silkwood, that little reddish core there that you see. So silkwood is harder than the maple, so it adds a sonic layer of projection, clarity, resonance. In fact, once we cut the 45-degree bearing edge, the peak of the bearing edge includes the inner ply of the maple and the outer ply of the red silkwood. So as soon as you hit that drum, it absorbs that energy from the stroke, the resonance of the head, and it energizes the sound and the shell. So the cool part is the inner ply, the third type of wood, which is poplar. Poplar is soft, so it balances out that edge from the silkwood and adds a level of warmth and possibilities. So you can tune those heads down to get a nice fat sound coming from the poplar, but once you tune it up, that's where the silkwood comes into play. And you can get that melodic, resonant, jazz, projection sort of sound. So that versatility's there, the ease of tuning it up is there, the compatibility with most drumhead combinations makes it easy to find your sound based on the gig you're playing. And that's why Cornerstone is such an all-around kit. You know, Steve used the term melodic because in an outdoor gig like the amphitheater you were watching, he wants clarity between the toms. And that's what he gets from Cornerstone, and that's why it's the go-to kit for that particular gig. So speaking of gig, I know he has another Mr. Blue Sky one coming up, so we need to put this drum back together and get it back in his hands. So Steve, here you go.
Thanks so much.
Back all in one piece. So we took a little peek under the hood, and great drum.
Yeah.
I mean, we can see why it sounds so good. I mean, you know, you get all the little details right, including the lugs and just the quality overall. You can feel it. So great kit, great information. You know, thanks for the insight, and let's do this again soon.
That sounds fun.
All right.
We'll get another kit and do it.
Yay.
More drums.
Oh, we can talk about your little rumor.
I love the little rumor.
All right. That's what's coming next. Thanks a lot.